Hello, this is Jamie Magridge. Welcome to Jamie's Craft Table. Today I'm going to show you how I made this card. It's a pretty simple one. Let's get started. This is a no stamp card. And the supplies here. I'm using two of the layering circle dies, the two largest circles. I'm using Ornate Floral 3D embossing folder. I'm going to be using the Meadow dies, just the one, and Playful alphabet dies. Okay, I've already cut things and embossed just to make it a little bit faster, but this piece is 4 1/8 by 5 3/8. It's 1/8 of an inch smaller than the front of a card. And out of the front of it, I have taken the smaller of the two, it's the second largest, and die cut out a circle. I just put it on there sort of centered side to side, a little bit higher towards the top, and I cut that out, and then I ran it through the embossing folder, and that's what I ended up with. Okay, then I took a second piece, this is the center out of that one, a second piece of white cardstock, and I ran the largest circle through. You can nest them, but I found I had to run it through twice because they don't really nest very well. And part of it didn't cut. So what I found, I don't know if it's easier, I cut the largest one and then I cut the smaller one, or you could do it reverse, cut the smaller one and then cut, and then like line it up, this one up and cut this one. That would probably be the easiest way to do it. Okay, so then I ended up with this little ring. Okay, I have a 4 1/4 by 5 1/2 inch piece of Granny Apple Green. I have my card base, which is 5 1/2 by 8 1/2, scored and folded at 4 1/4, and that's the thick. This is the size piece of black that I used, and I cut out all my pieces, and this is a piece I had in my scrap bin. It's like 3 3/8 by 4 3/4 basically. Okay, let's put these dies away so I don't lose them. Okay, so this is what I've cut out. I don't know if you're going to be able to see it there. If I tip it like that, you can. Cut out this flower here, H-E-L-L-O, from the letter dies, and these two flowers, all out of that one piece of black card. Okay, so let's get assembling. First thing I'm going to do is mount this circle to this piece here, right here. I'm going to use my wet glue. You don't want to use a lot of glue, you just want little tiny bits. If you get too much, dab it off onto a scrap paper. Basically putting a little bit down and then spreading it with the tip of my bottle. Okay, that's going to go right over this space here to make a little frame here. I just realized I put that on upside down, but that's alright, it's not going to, you can tell because it had a little bit of a lip this way, but okay. Now we're going to put dimensionals on the back of this. Where did I put them? Oh, those are the little ones. Alright, let's get out another thing of dimensionals. So I keep misplacing them. So I'm going to put one on each corner. Put one here in the middle. Put one about an inch away because I need to tuck some flowers in there. And I want one here. I want one here. And I want this really to not sag, so I'm going to add a couple more. I think that's good. Okay, now I'm going to take those backs off. Poke your fingernail in the back, lifts up that paper so you can just pick it off. And now we're going to bring in that granny apple green piece. And we're going to try to center this on there best we can. Okay, that's pretty good. It's not perfect, but okay. Now we're going to bring in, let's do the letters first. I'm going to bring in a piece of Post-it tape. I've just folded over the ends of it. I'm going to stick it on my, I'm going to stick it on my grid paper, like that. Doesn't want to stick anymore. You could probably tape the ends down. That would work too. And I'm going to start with the center L. You want to put them on upside down because you want to be able to put glue on the back. I'll put this one in the center here, and I'm going to line the bottom of the letters up with the bottom of the tape. And this one will go over here. Nope. This one goes over here. Because you're also got to remember this is mirror image, so the H is going to be on this end. I want the fat part up. So space that like that. And I want the fat part up. Pretty side down right now. And then the O. Take the center out. Okay. Now I'm going to add a little bit of glue on the back of each one of those letters. Don't need much, just a little. Okay, then we're going to bring this in. You can kind of see through this, so I'm going to hover over, trying to make it centered. Use your grid paper if you want to. And I'm going to stick it down. I'm going to rub those letters well so that they stay adhered to that textured paper. And then I'm going to very carefully peel this back, holding the letter down as I go at the bottom so that they stay on. Okay, now I'm going to bring in this one here. I need a pair of snips. Because what I did is I cut right here. You see where I'm cutting? Right there. Like that. Okay, then I cut right here. tidied this up so that it looked like a grass didn't have raggedy edges. Okay, and then I cut right here. And this one I made into two, so I tidied that up. I cut it here, so I have two leaves there. Okay, this one, take this out, and I tidied this up just a little bit, just so it didn't have that sharp angle there, it looked more smooth. Okay, we're going to put a little bit of glue on the back of this piece. Okay, I'm going to tuck it in underneath here. Oops. Put it down about there, I guess. That looks good. A little glue on there, so let me wipe that off. I'm going to take these other ones, this one that's two, put a little glue on the bottom of it, tuck that in here on this end. These other two, let's put one over here. Let's add one more right here. Okay, now I'm going to take the little butterfly, I'm going to add glue to the back of it. It's going to be over here. This one's going to get a dimensional, and the big ones are kind of big, so I'm going to go ahead and just use small dimensionals. Put one in the back of it. I'm going to bend up the wings a little bit. I'm going to add that so that it's coming out of the circle, like there. Now we can add this to the front of our card. This should be the same size as the front of the card. Okay, then I'm going to bring in some basic rhinestones. Don't have that on there completely all the way. Go with it. I'm going to bring in my take your pick tool, because I'm going to take one of these small ones. Put it over here. One of the mediums. Put it next to it. And one of the large ones, put it up here. There we go, that's our card. It's the one I just made with you. There's the one I did previously. Well, thank you so much for joining me today at Jamie's Craft Table. I hope you have a great rest of your day, and I hope you can find a little bit of time to play with some stamps, ink, and paper.